The moment a developer hands over the keys to a brand new home, the financial reality of the property shifts. It is the single most expensive moment of the purchase, behaving less like a traditional investment and more like driving a new car off the lot. This gap is the new build premium. Brand new properties cost 15 to 25% more than identical second-hand homes. On a £300,000 house, that extra £75,000 evaporates the minute you move in. Its market value instantly drops. You've paid for depreciation. For those who need to move within the first few years, this creates a significant trap. If you bought through a shared ownership scheme, that immediate loss in value can lead straight to negative equity, making it impossible to sell without a massive financial hit. In the current market, the premium is simply the price of being the first person to live in the house. It is a convenience fee, not a reflection of the home's long-term resale value. Developers justify this markup through the experience of the marketing suite. They present a show home that has been professionally staged and lit to look like a luxury lifestyle, which creates a psychological distance from the actual house you are buying. When you look past the staging, the standard specification is often built to a budget. Developers typically install cheap materials, thin, low-grade carpets, entry-level white plastic boilers, and basic bare light fixtures, none of which match the premium feel of the marketing materials. These budget choices are possible because developers don't have to compete on build quality to find buyers. The UK consistently misses its target of building 300,000 homes a year. This permanent scarcity gives developers immense pricing power, allowing them to maintain a 25% markup because the market has nowhere else to go. Buyers aren't paying for superior construction or high-end materials. They are paying for a lifestyle aesthetic and the consequences of a national housing shortage. Once the excitement of moving in fades, the unadvertised costs of new build ownership begin to appear. These are the recurring charges that developers rarely highlight in their brochures. Many new estates are never formally adopted by the local council. This means you, the homeowner, must pay a private management company for roads, streetlights, and local parks. These fees range from £150 to £600 a year and come with very little legal oversight. For those buying flats, the service charges are even more aggressive. A £2,000 annual fee can accelerate quickly as buildings age, routinely rising faster than the rate of inflation and eating into any potential profit you might make when selling. There is also a gap between the energy efficiency you are promised and what the house actually delivers. Even with a high EPC rating, many owners report persistent issues with thermal leakage and undersized heating systems that struggle to keep upstairs rooms warm in the winter. These escalating, unregulated costs are embedded into the property. The headline price of a new build is only the beginning of its total cost. To avoid overpaying, you have to recognize the common mistakes. The most frequent is accepting a developer's incentive to use their recommended solicitor in exchange for a few £1,000s off the price. Those solicitors are part of the developer's panel. Their business depends on the developer, not you. They are less likely to highlight problematic lease clauses that could cost you tens of thousands of pounds later. Always hire your own independent legal team. You also need to understand how developers think. They are corporate entities with strict sales targets that they must hit every 3 months to keep their shareholders happy. These are your absolute windows of leverage. The final 2 weeks of March, June, September, and December are when sales staff face maximum pressure. They rarely lower the headline price, avoiding site devaluation. Instead, they concede thousands by paying stamp duty or including free upgrades. Timing your purchase to coincide with these corporate deadlines allows you to claw back a significant portion of the new build premium before you even move in. To protect yourself from build defects, you should always commission an independent snagging survey. It costs between £300 and £600 and will identify the dozens of small and sometimes major issues the builder missed. You must do this before you legally complete. Once you have the keys, the developer has very little incentive to return to the site and fix your problems. The survey is your only real leverage. Ultimately, a new build only makes financial sense if you plan to stay there for 7 to 10 years. That is how long it typically takes for the local housing market to rise enough to cancel out the initial 25% depreciation you took on day one. If you don't want to wait a decade to break even, look at 5 to 15-year-old homes on the same estate. The premium has already been paid by someone else, the build defects have been fixed, and you get the same modern layout for a much lower price. Before you sign anything, use the New Build Premium Engine UK to calculate the exact markup on your specific deal. It compares the developer's price to recent local resales, so you can see exactly how much you are paying for the newness of the property. A new build is only worth the cost if you negotiate during the quarter end, audit the build quality independently, and stay long enough to outlast the initial trap.